Francisco, Brandon said it was your idea to call the team meeting. Why did you feel like right now is the right time?
I felt like it was the right time for us to, as a group, collectively, to sit down and look at each other eye to eye and hold each other accountable. It was good for everybody. A lot of players talked. That's really good, and a lot of knowledge was dropped. Now we just got to put it together, So it was. I just felt like it was the right time. Something in my gut, my instincts were telling me it was the right time to let's just get everybody out and just the players. Let us talk. We don't really get an opportunity to talk like that.
Mm-hmm.
We have buses and then we have team dinners that, we have an opportunity to talk, but not like today. You have the offense that talks and then the pitchers they talk, but when everybody's in meetings like this and we look at each other eye to eye, when somebody says something and you say, you mean that? Okay, I got you. It goes a long way.
When you say it was something in your gut, there have obviously been some really tough losses over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Is there something that you were sensing with the way guys were playing, carrying themselves, acting, that made you feel like this now was at a breaking point?
I mean, you guys I don't want to say it's a breaking point.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to wait till it's that time. We still got time. We still got, I think, 100-plus games, 110 games, 105, something like that. We still got time. We have to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get it done. We got to have a sense of urgency, and we have to get it done. And you guys come after games. I don't know if it's like that in every clubhouse, but when we lose, there's everybody's like just looking at their phones or writing their notes or off to the showers, off to the gym, whatever they got to do. Everybody's focuses on that. When they win, everybody's talking, interacting a little bit more, And I just felt like it was just the time to do it. We needed to talk, to look each other in the eye, everybody. I don't care if you have one day in the big leagues or you have 14 years in the big leagues. We're all teammates. What matters is winning, and I'm proud to be here. And I feel like we needed to look at each other in the eye and say, we got to get it done.
Francisco, Carlos said that what Lopez did throwing his glove in the stands was unacceptable. He just offered very little remorse, said he didn't regret it. How do you, as a team leader, view that situation?
I mean, it definitely doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. And if our manager says it's unacceptable, it's unacceptable. With that being said, it's one of those where I'm sure I hope tomorrow he feels completely different. He's still in the heat of the moment. He's somebody that carries things a little longer than other players. So hopefully tomorrow he feels a little bit different. If he doesn't, at the end of the day, he's our teammate, and we got to go out there and compete day in and day out, and I'll back him up.
Brandon and Adam both mentioned process.
Mm-hmm.
What has gone wrong here collectively with the process?
So part of the process, when we talk about process, a lot of us have had success with certain ways, doing certain things, and most of us are not having success right now. So we got to look ourselves in the mirror and say, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing everything I got to be better, to represent the New York Mets and to go out there and win ball games, because that's all that matters, So if you are, continue to stay in the process. If you're not, you got to make adjustments to the process. The process is what helps you along the road, helps you get the results. We all looking for the results. Everybody in here is looking for the results, and we're not getting those results. But if your process, the way you're dealing things, the way you preparing day in and day out to step on the plate or to step on the mound or on the base path or in defense, it's right, and you honestly believe it's the right process, then continue to do it. But if there's something that you're doubting yourself, you got to change it up. we have to change it up.
How could you reasonably expect the guys who are not with those right processes, how do you reasonably expect them to change it?
That's part of the meeting. Look each other in the eye and say, you said something and I don't see it. We gotta step up. We gotta do it the right way. We gotta do it the way you're saying it should be done. That's part of this meeting. That's part of looking each other in the eye and holding each other accountable and believing that every one of us is doing what it takes to win with the New York Mets.
Would you have called this meeting if Lopez didn't throw his glove into the crowd?
100%. 100%. This has nothing to do with Lopez. We didn't lose the game because of Lopez. You know, it's something that just my instincts was just like, we got to talk. We got to talk. You know, and I'm not much of a rah-rah type person. That's not me. You know, the way I do things, I put my head down and I grind and I work as hard as I can to be the best I can be. So I wanted to like just let everybody talk. Come on, let's talk. What's happening? How can we change this? What can we do? Give me some knowledge. Give me something that I haven't heard or something that I've heard but I might have forgot. And that's where we at.
Adam also mentioned that 2022 was a long time ago.
It is.
Is there any sense that you guys have hung on to that, kind of waiting for that to reappear?
Not really. Not me. Not me. And I don't think the guys here are holding on to that. Maybe we holding on to the process, but not to like, oh, we were good in 2022, we're gonna be good. No, nobody cares. Nobody cares about what we did in the past. You know, it's you almost gotta have that next mentality. You know.
You mentioned, and a bunch of the guys mentioned, that there's still plenty of time in front of you, 100-plus games to go, but you also experienced as a team last year that if things don't turn around quickly, you don't really have those 100 games to get them turned around. Is there an importance to having a sense of urgency to do it right now before the season gets away from you and the front office has to make decisions, or is that counterproductive to what you guys are trying to do individually?
The front office they're gonna make decisions no matter what, you know, whether it's to add or subtract, and whether it's to focus on the next season or focus on August and September. So they're gonna make decisions. However, I want to be in the side of adding, you know. You're right, we don't have 100-plus games for that moment, but we do have time to make sure we're above water. You know, I've always said, stay above water. Before the All-Star break and before the trade deadline, you got to stay above the water. You know, you can't have the water nose deep. It's not a good. I'm not a good swimmer, so we got to make sure we got to find ways to just get the water to at least our shoulders, you know, because then that's when the decisions come in, and it's the ones that we don't want.
How much have you seen these last few weeks wear on some of these guys mentally?
Well, we take a lot of pride in winnings, and when you're not winning and you're looking for the results and you're not getting the results, yeah, it's only natural to start searching, you know. With that being said, I think finding every day to be a new day, a new opportunity to be successful and to hold on to what you have right now, I think that's going to help us.
Francisco, how would you describe the emotions in the meeting? Were people angry? Was it tense? Was it relaxed? How would you describe the emotions?
I think it was grown men talking, not fighting, just having conversations. We're all professional, and we all can look at each other in the eye and agree to disagree, or to just agree. You know, I think it felt very good. It felt very, very good that guys were able to have a conversation and learn from each other and get some new knowledge in the world.
Francisco, acknowledging you did not lose a game today because somebody threw a glove into the crowd.
Yeah.
But he did do that.
Yeah.
And then given a chance to explain it, he offered no remorse.
Yeah.
He called this the worst team. He was given a chance to clarify that and called it the worst team again.
Mm-hmm.
Should he be on this team tomorrow?
that's a decision not up to me, but I still feel he's got a lot on the table, and he's a really good pitcher, and he can definitely help us to win ball games. He maybe doesn't feel like that right now, because I feel like he's still in the heat of the moment. But I mean, that's going to be a decision that's going to be made by Stern and Mendy, you know. And I still love the guy, and I feel like he's a great competitor. And when it comes to him being on the team, if he's on the team tomorrow, if he's on the team tonight, I'll be happy.
Did he speak in the meeting? Did he speak in the meeting?
I don't know if I want to say who's spoken. I don't know if I want to get into that.
Did you get a chance to speak with him after that whole incident?
I went over and said a few things. I felt like he honestly just didn't look at one pitch. I think it was the Ohtani pitch. Every other pitch, I think it was great. He located, you know. It's tough luck. You know, they're a big league team on the other side as well, and they did really good. They put the ball in play when they needed to put the ball in play. You know, so that's part of the reason why we lost today again. You know, they executed when they needed to execute.